So, not trying to necessarily memorize this all the time because it can be confusing. If I look at an equilateral triangle in general, and I know one side length of that equilateral triangle, let's say I don't want to use one of the numbers up here, so it's 10. If I drop an altitude down from one of the vertices, it not only, because this is an isosceles triangle, as that these two are congruent to each other, it not only bisects this opposite side, so that makes this 5, but it also bisects the angle, so it turns this into a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Well, I don't know the altitude. So, leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So I get x squared equals 100 minus 25 is 75. X is the square root of 75, but then 75 has a perfect square in it. That's like the square root of 25 times the square root of 3, which is 5 times the square root of 3. What this tells me is that long leg, the leg opposite the 60-degree angle in the 30, 60, 90 triangle, is the short leg times the square root of 3. So the side opposite the 60-degree angle is the short leg times the square root of 3, which means y is 20 divided by the square root of 3 meters, because I would divide both sides by the square root of 3 here to solve for y. And then the hypotenuse is twice the length of the short leg. So if y is 20 square roots of 3 over 3, this is 2 times 20 over the square root of 3. So it's 40 over the square root of 3 and then meters. On these angles in the coordinate plane, I always measure to the x-axis. In this case, it tells me it's 30 degrees. If it was down here and they told me that this was a 210-degree angle, it would still be 30 degrees from the horizontal. So they told me it was 30 degrees in this case, which means when I draw in this triangle, I end up with a triangle that looks like this. This is a 30-degree angle, that's a 60-degree angle. I know the length of the hypotenuse because it's just the radius of this circle, and I can see that the radius of this circle is 4. So this side is going to equal 4 divided by 2, which is 2, and this side is going to be 2 times the square root of 3, because it's the short leg times the square root of 3. As far as my coordinates, u then has an x value of 2 square roots of 3. It's positive because x is positive in the first quadrant, and y has a value of 2. And it's also positive because y is positive in the first quadrant. If I had a point over here instead at 210 degrees, making a 30-degree angle with the x-axis, the only thing that would change, my x would be negative 2 square roots of 3, and my y would be negative 2 because both x and y are negative down here in the third quadrant.